Let me know when you're ready to talk.
Because I've been eating all day.
Do you want to talk now, or?
You want me to sit over there?
I mean, I would rather talk to you intently. Yes.
Okay.
I have a lot to say.
Okay.
Some things happen in regards to my parents that I didn't really appreciate.
Like?
What would you like me to tell you?
Yeah, for sure.
I understood you were sleepy, but my parents drove up here 10 hours to meet you. And as soon as the cameras cut, you decided to go to sleep at the first opportunity. These are the most important people in my life. And all I have left in this world. And the choice you made in that moment was to go to sleep.
Okay.
And to me, it is telling.
Okay.
Because that's just not a choice that I would ever make.
Okay.
I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, but for me, that was not okay.
I was exhausted. I like to take my naps. We talked for hours about you, about what I would be to them as a vessel, as someone to lean on. If it really meant that to you, I would have stayed up.
I had been trying to communicate with you all day during the day.
Can I just stop you right there?
Sure.
You're saying you were trying to contact me all day. I talked to you 3 times yesterday. And then at 5 o'clock, you
yes,
texted
but you
me.
were asleep for most of the day.
I was
which
asleep
is
for
fine.
an hour.
Whatever it
From
was,
5
you
to
did not
6.
text much yesterday. You
I
weren't
talked
very responsive.
No. Hold on, because I don't appreciate that.
Would you like me to tell my side of the story?
But I don't appreciate that. That's not true.
Well, can I tell my truth
Go
and
ahead.
then you speak yours?
Go ahead.
Is that a possibility?
Absolutely.
All right. So I felt like I was not getting responsiveness out of you yesterday. The only other conversation we had was when we were going to get to the house and what was up with your car. Yeah, I just said, congratulations, you got your car back. Keep an eye out for it.
Right.
I feel like even the response to that was kind of,
When I said it's fine?
I was just saying, hey, keep an eye out for your tires on your car. That's all I said.
Yeah, and I didn't respond to that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. But the point is, that's the only conversation we had that day.
Okay.
At that point,
Because
I
you're
decided,
working.
do you want me to finish?
I'm so confused.
Well,
like,
I'm
what's
trying to
wrong with
explain.
that?
I'm trying to explain. Would you rather explain?
Go for it.
All right. By the time you called me, you were ready to talk to me on your time. And at that point, I feel like if I haven't been talking to you all day, and now I don't feel like talking, you don't get to dictate that now we get to talk on the phone.
Okay. When I went to work yesterday, it's a long day. I'm interacting with people all day. I called you and I let you know what was going on in the middle of the day. And then I even texted you when my car was back. And you're like, make sure your car's okay. I said, it's fine. And you're like, yeah, we'll just make sure your tires are good. I didn't respond. Okay, I see. I read it and I received it. If you don't communicate that, hey, this really bothers me that you didn't respond, how am I supposed to know? Then when you called me, I was asleep because I had been running around all day. So I took a nap. And then that's when I called you immediately. You said, I don't want to talk on the phone. Okay, well, maybe if I express to him that I do like talking on the phone, maybe it will change. No, it didn't. And it wasn't me trying to dictate. I was just trying to explain to you, hey, this is what I like. Just like you could have explained, hey, I didn't like that you fell asleep while my parents were there. I get tired really easily. I don't know what it is. I'm not trying to make an excuse with your parents. I just talked to them for 4 hours. I didn't think it was that big of a deal to go to sleep for an hour. I really didn't. But if it meant something, you have to just say that. You never said anything. I cannot read your mind. You want me to be this person that is your wife that does everything by the book on your book, but I can't be doing everything by the book unless you tell me. You have to communicate that. I am ready to listen. I'm trying to understand you. Just like yesterday when we were on the phone and I called you again and you were like, I don't want to talk to you because you don't listen. I felt very dismissed. I felt very closed off from you. I was hurt. I started crying because I don't understand what it is. You have to admit it is not the same from when we were in the pause. And I'm not saying it's all on you. And I'm not saying it's all on me. It's both of us. These are such little things. I am trying my hardest.
After reflecting on what I really want out of life and a wife, I have to be honest with myself that the answer between you and I, for me, is no.
Okay. All right. I mean, if your mind is made up, I have many words to say on what you're saying.
I'm here to listen.
Huh?
I'm here to listen if you would like to. But
are you listening just to hear, or are you listening as an open mind to move forward?
Because you just said to understand. I'm always listening to understand.
I mean, is your mind made up?
That is what I said. Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool. I told you I was going to take this experiment to the very end, and I did not take you meeting my father and getting him that emotional so lightly. How dare you do that and then just throw it away after 2 days? It's literally been 2 days since you did that. And now you're ready to just throw it away because I fell asleep and because I didn't text you?
Honestly, yes, I took that for your father very seriously.
Nothing has happened to actually do the work to give it a shot.
I feel like you don't even see the things
but
that
have
I'm
you
trying
tried?
to do. Absolutely.
With what?
Would you like me to answer?
Yeah, for sure.
Am I going to get to speak?
Absolutely.
All right. So you want me to cuddle with you more. I intentionally rolled over and tried to hold you in that tiny ass bed. And upon asking you, you didn't even notice.
Because I was asleep.
What do you want from me? I don't think you realize how much work I put in to do that. For
To
when
cuddle?
we met no, for your family. I woke up at 8 a.m. and went to the grocery store and had to hunt down a bunch of stuff, season meat, figure out the grill, do all that was work. And after that, I came back and did the dishes. If you sat here and grilled a whole meal for my whole family and I come back to dishes in the sink, I'm not gonna ask you to do the dishes. I'm probably just gonna do them. Maybe I didn't communicate that, sure. However, if I have to communicate that, I am not the one for you.
Do not try to make it seem like I'm not here doing my part at all. We're not going to spin it like that.
Nobody's spinning like anything.
I've been given such a negative response, a temper tantrum sometimes, like an attitude. I just don't understand it. If it's about the dishes, if it's about me going to sleep, if it's about a text, all of that, it's the slap in the face.
Great. I'm glad you feel that way. There's a lot I could respond to, but there is no scenario that I see myself standing there and saying yes to making you my wife forever. And with that in mind, I'm glad we can at least agree that I don't ever want to see you again. This was nice. I wish you the best of luck.
Oh yeah, you live.
Why do so many feel unappreciated in relationships? Why you say, Kelly?
Because he was a butthole. Flat out.
Why was he a butthole?
Because it sounds to me like he wants her to be a certain way without communicating his likes and dislikes. I mean, they are on a reality show, so it's not like this is a real life relationship. This is a TV relationship. It's a production. So everything happened pretty fast. And they don't know each other that well. So it seems like the communication is bad between the two of them. And it seems like he has expectations that he hasn't stated. And I mean, a lot of stuff that he said was just kind of rude. It wasn't nice. That's why I said he's a butthole.
Believe it or
But
not,
the women go,
I actually agreed with him.
me too.
Yeah, I agree with
I did
him.
too.
Like she had too many
I
excuses.
know y'all
I'm like,
wanna
girl,
I
bye.
agree with him.
Right now, that mistaken agreed with, but
Communicating
actually
emotionally and communicating emotions.
agreed with him
Go ahead.
in the fact that you know, I actually think that he was on point about it's just certain. Not to say that she would know, because everybody have their own upbringing.
That's how much work I put in to do that.
So you really don't know, what a person know or don't know. But since they are not already in a relationship, I think he made the right decision by not pursuing a relationship any further, because he knew how much work he wanted to put in regards to things that he expected her to already know that he shouldn't have to teach some of the foundational basics, right? So I agree with him with the fact that he shouldn't have had to communicate that you need to stay up when you got company.
Well,
or
I
that
think she said she stayed up and talked to his parents for 4 hours.
Yeah, but so I think that was for the show taping. According to what it looked like, she stayed up long enough for the show to be taped, and as soon as the lights camera was off, she went to sleep or whatever. And then like what he was saying too, the fact that he grilled all day cooking for, I think it was her family. I don't know if it was her family. I think it was her family. And then he said that was a lot of work, and he came home and the kitchen wasn't clean, the sink, it was like, I'm doing this as an act for your family. The least you could do is at least clean the kitchen. I come home and the dishes in the sink and you're sleeping. So I do agree with that. These are things that you look at early on in the relationship, and vice versa.
Well, that's a common sense thing to wash the dishes. Like,
Right, but
help
common
me
sense
out.
ain't common, right? Because he was like, that was an expectation that I had that I didn't know I even needed to communicate that to you. So the
Yeah.
fact that I had to communicate that to you means that you may not have some of the basic foundational skills that I'm looking for in a wife. I remember one time, even and this stuck with me, and I don't know why, because I naturally did this just because of the way that I was raised. But I remember before my husband and I got married, he was talking about his ex and how they went on a trip with friends, and all of the women were in the kitchen cooking and cleaning whatever. All of the women were in the kitchen, and she sat on the side with the guys just like chilling and reading a book or whatever. She wasn't involved with helping the women. And he said he was so embarrassed and like pissed off about that. And I don't know why that stuck with me, but now I just realized that I am very intentional that when we are visiting like his people out, that I am up helping and do not that he needed to tell me that, but because I know it bothered him that much, I think sometimes I do extra just because I want him to never be embarrassed of his wife. You know what I'm saying? And so I think in that regard, he was absolutely right, because I think he saw enough to know, is this something that I can deal with for the rest of my life?
Mm-hmm.
She's not coming with basic foundational skills that I think she should have. And then even on top of the communication part, you could tell she really wasn't listening, because she was like, okay, uh-huh. And I know when we do that, we really ain't listening. We're trying to act like we're acknowledging what you're saying,
He didn't
but
like.
we're really just like, okay, and we're waiting to respond. So it's like, yeah, okay, okay. And I don't think she was coming from a place of really listening to what he was saying, taking that in, apologizing and saying, I'm sorry, I'm willing to work on that. I didn't know. I was, like she said, I was just really tired, but I apologize. And even for me, even going farther than that, I would have liked to apologize to the parents, because I wouldn't know if they felt some kind of way. Like, was I being rude? You know what I'm saying? Taking it the wrong way and like, oh, what's wrong? I would have probably took it a step further and just be like, and I'll contact your parents and apologize because I wasn't trying to be rude. I just think is those things that he already saw, that wasn't necessarily something that he knew he wanted to deal with as a wife. I shouldn't have to teach you certain things that I feel that you should come with. So I actually kind of agree with him.